Okay, guys. I tried to make the camera. And I put fingerprints on it.
You know what's so funny? It never stop the music.
All right. I think it stopped it.
She was like, Mom, this.
No, that's not a song. It's gospel music. It comes in slow. Yeah, we'll be live now. Oh, you said stop the music.
Woo! It don't get any better than this, baby. When I tell you it got real in the She Shack with these cameras, these hot flashes, it got real in here, y'all. Welcome to the She Shack, everybody. Welcome to the She Shack, guys. It is Thankful Tuesday. Y'all know this is my favorite day of the week. Favorite day of the week, it gives me time of reflection of what happened last week. Give me time to set goals, what I want to happen for the rest of the week. So we are going to talk about what we're thankful for, but survey the room. I know y'all see some new faces in here. So you're probably saying, finally, is that the person she was talking about? Child, yes, she is here. The beautiful, the amazing, the groundbreaking, the ground-shaking, God-fearing Representative Sherry Dorsey Walker is in the building tonight, baby. We gonna talk about her initiatives, running for lieutenant governor, and when I tell y'all I'm too excited about it, I'm too excited about it. She will be the first, the number one first black person, then a woman, to sit up on the high seat right here in Delaware, guys. First state. First. We doing all this first tonight. I am so excited to have you here. Welcome to the She Shack.
Thank you for having me.
Yo, you so
and I just love your energy.
Welcome to the She Shack. And then, listen, make sure y'all pay attention to this t-shirt right here. Sherry Dorsey Walker, Lieutenant Governor. This is...
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Karen Burton, and I am Director for Volunteers for Team Sherry Dorsey Walker for Lieutenant Governor, as well as assisting with community outreach. So please go to the website, www.sherrydorseyWalker.com. Make your contribution, purchase your t-shirt, and if you want to know the amount, that is the maximum. It's $600 per individual or $1,200 per couple. We need your support. Thank you so much.
Woo! Yeah, listen, that was a free paid advertisement. Y'all know my mama is in the building. She's always in the building. Everybody, welcome my beautiful mother to the show. She always come with some love, some wisdom. She give us some insight. Keep it real. I'm talking about she never leave crumbs on the show. Every night, Tuesday night, she break it down. It's always broke down. You'll never forget it after she's done with it. Trust me. Okay, so we're going to start when we have guests in here. So y'all are going to start off with saying what you thankful for. That's what we usually do. What you thankful for, and you tell us why that is something that is holding dear to you, right? And so we'll start with you, Miss Walker or Sherry. What would you like for me to call you tonight?
You can call me Sherry.
Oh, it's Sherry. It's going down. Y'all know we on first name basis already. So what are you thankful for tonight?
I'm thankful for family.
Okay, tell us about that.
I'm thankful for family because other than life, that was my second gift that God gave me.
Okay.
And so I'm just grateful to have my mother, my sisters, my family, my nieces, nephews, my husband of 19 years, my college sweetheart.
Yes, we love at the She Shack.
And I'm thankful for this opportunity to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I am definitely honored that you are here with us tonight. I've been so excited about it. So why don't you tell us what you're thankful for tonight?
I am thankful for God's blessings, right? So often we overlook the simplicity of what a blessing really means, and that is that He takes care of all of our needs. We get it confused, right? So when your needs are met and the Lord, our Savior, meets our needs, I can only be grateful for the blessings that I can open up my refrigerator and there's food in my box.
Mm-hmm.
I can flick a light switch and the
Lights
lights
are
come
coming on.
I
I know
have
that's
heat.
so.
I have a roof over my head. I have a reliable vehicle. I have everything that He wants me to have in this season of my life, and I'm thankful for the blessings He have ahead for me.
Oh, that is beautiful. I don't even know if I can follow mine.
I thought she was getting ready to go to preaching over there.
I don't know if I'm like domestic collection, but I'm with already.
Amen.
Amen. That is beautiful.
Yes,
That's the new
yes.
But
expression.
you know what? But more importantly, I am thankful for this opportunity and relationship that is anointed by Him to
Oh,
make sure
yes,
that we met,
absolutely.
right? So grateful for that and thankful.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So, Mom, why don't you tell us what you're thankful for, and while you're doing that, I'm just gonna alter the Instagram camera just a little bit because you kind of cut off. So y'all just bear with me a little bit.
supposed to be closer to him.
Oh, then while we doing that, there we go. And let us also take a moment to welcome all our viewers that's popping in. We see you. We thank you for your support. There's my very good friend popped in from Washington, D.C. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in to the She Shack tonight. And I see some new viewers out there as well. Welcome to the She Shack, guys. We love you. This is the home of positivity where we make love infectious. I hope that you enjoy our show tonight. So moving right back around because I didn't forget about you. What you thankful for tonight?
Well, I'm just going to bounce off of what they said, you know, because that's what I was going to say. That I am thankful. I'm thankful for life itself,
Right.
you know, because I know in my life things could have been a lot different. He has always enclosed me in my right mind, so I thank God for right mind, you know. Because you know, we're sponsoring the Alzheimer's Walk, and for those who are taking care of loved ones with Alzheimer's, you know, that's a journey of its own.
Who is the we that's sponsoring?
Oh, I'm part of the Red Hats Association, and so the ladies that I am in, we get. Matter of fact, they gave a tea, all right, and they raised somewhere around $2,000 for the Alzheimer's
That's beautiful.
that they're going to be
that's
donating.
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
The name of the group that I'm with is the Diamond Dolls of Dover.
Okay.
My queen is Mrs. Gail Young.
Okay.
So-
Hey, Miss Gail. Hey,
So
guys.
I think she did an amazing job with us as collectively. They did an amazing job. So I'm thankful for that. I give God. I'm thankful for grace. Because we have to allow us grace, you know, even when we don't complete everything that we wanted to do. We may not see it in our eyesight, but in God's eyesight, it was completed. So I'm thankful for grace. I really am. I thank God for the joy that's in my life, because to me, as I've stated time and time again, joy surpasses happiness. You know, happiness is just for a moment, joy is for always and forever. So I thank God for the joy in my life. I thank God that I got the opportunity to meet this amazing lady right here.
I know.
And her assistant.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a blessing in itself. I am so grateful. I wanted to make sure I came and to be a part.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
because I think it's amazing that what you are doing, the vision that you have, and I just wanted to make sure that I was able to let you know that, that I think it's amazing. It's always amazing. To me, we should be grateful and proud that we got black women who isn't being empowered.
Woo!
Okay?
Yes.
So
yes.
that's what I'm thankful for.
Yes.
I thank God for empowerment.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
So, I don't know if we saying save the best for last because they have said some amazing things about thankfulness, about love, about family, about empowerment, about grace. And to captivate off of that, I'm going to say I'm thankful for gratitude.
Yes.
I am immensely thankful that God has taken the blinders off my eyes and I'm not ungrateful. There was a time I think that I abused the blessings that God had given me, taking them for granted actually. Took for granted that my key was going to always work in my door, my car was going to always start, I was always going to be able to go punch in at that job. But today I realized that every single thing was covered. God covered my home, He covered my dirt, He covered me when I didn't deserve to be covered. So I thank God for gratitude. Because you know what gratitude really is? I had to go look. I had to go really look and see, what is gratitude? Like you hear it spoken, used kind of loosely. People say, "Oh, I'm thankful it's Thanksgiving." You know, "Oh, I'm happy because I got a job, or I got a promotion, or I got a raise, or I just bought that new house." But when you think about gratitude, gratitude is actually the key component. It's what makes thankfulness feel thankful. You can't feel thankful until you're grateful, that you have gratitude for what you actually have. It's like, God, I'm grateful for what I have, but I'm also grateful because I know you're getting ready to do some more stuff. You know what I mean? It's like a combination of thankfulness, gratefulness, humbleness, family, love, all that good stuff. All that good stuff.
All of it, all of it.
I'm gonna share something with you guys. I have been having some emotional instabilities. I don't know if I want to call it instabilities. Hormones, menopause. Menopause is happening.
Thank you,
And
Lord.
so it's happening. Like, I don't know if anybody else, you're looking at me like, "Girl, you going through menopause?" Yes, since I was 35, child. Yes, menopause. But it brought about some things that made me feel not like myself, right? And I had to be able to identify that that's when the enemy is doing his best work. He's doing his best work because I'm off course. And I didn't invite God into my menopause situation. And you often hear me say, you got to invite God into every aspect of your life, no matter what it is. No matter if it's a new job or an old job. No matter if it's a new house or an old house. No matter if it's an old marriage or a new marriage. It doesn't matter what it is. You got to always invite God into it, right? So because I like that, I thank God that I had enough knowledge, enough sense, enough faith to say, you know what, I need to fast. I need to get back. I need a moment of clarity. Not because I'm asking God to give me anything. Just clarity, God. Just help me get back in focus and balance. And this is my second day. And I thank God that I was able to, one, adhere to the fast. Two, that He gave me clarity. Right? That the clarity came. I can feel His anointing. I can feel a move of God for everything that I'm trusting Him for. And even with sitting here talking to you, this is a blessing. This is 2 years ago. Let me share your story. Share your story. I started with an information kind of Zoom thing, right? And I was bringing some healthcare information to ladies that was considering getting body alteration surgeries, right? And I had myself experienced that, and I went down to Florida, and I noticed that there was a lot of things that were not up to par. So I decided I was going to teach them for free about how to prepare themselves if you're going to do this. If this is what you're going to do, then this is what you need to know in order to do it. So we did a live, and then when the live was over, they said, "So we're going to see you on Tuesday." I said, yeah, Tuesday. See you Tuesday. Yeah, I see you Tuesday. Yeah, I see you Tuesday. So the next Tuesday came, and so I asked my mom to join me because I didn't know what we was going to be talking about. You said Tuesday, be a person of my word and show up. So it was a great conversation. We carry on, and then we're going to see you on Tuesday. Oh, yeah, so I guess this a thing we're going to be doing every Tuesday. They're like, "Yeah, that sounds great. Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock. 2 years later, then we have an amazing Sherry Dorsey Walker sitting next to us. This She Shack started everywhere in this house. It was in the living room. It was in the kitchen. It was on the deck. It was in the dining room. It was in the foyer. It's been everywhere. It did not have a place. And when I think about that, I say, God, I really have to be grateful for my mom. And the reason why I say that, because she never let me not show up on Tuesday. Like every Tuesday. She called me, "So we doing the She Shack, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Mama, we doing the She Shack." "You got a topic?" I say, "I guess, Mom, we don't even have guests. We don't need guests," she said, "Just keep showing up. The guests will come. Just keep showing up. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it." And that's my message to y'all on this Thankful Tuesday. No matter what it is, no matter what's going on, never give up. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. Don't worry about what's not in your hand. God gonna cover you with your faith.
Your mother just said something, though. Your mother talked about grace, and your mother talked about caregiving. And I had been a caregiver for many years.
Really?
Yes.
A caregiver, and you caring for like in the healthcare field or something different?
Caring for loved ones.
Care of your loved ones.
Yes.
Okay.
So I took care of my uncle.
Okay.
He had cancer.
Okay.
Along with my siblings and
Okay.
my mother and my father, and my aunt just went on to glory July 2nd, but she had Alzheimer's.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So when you talked about the journey,
Mhm.
I understand that journey because I and my cousin brothers, we call each other, he's my cousin, but we're more like siblings. We were the primary caregivers for my Aunt Celeste, my Auntie Celeste.
Okay.
That's
And
amazing.
so July 2nd is the day that God called her home, but he allowed us to give her a portion of what she had given us down through the years.
Wow.
Yes.
Does your family play a part in you choosing the role of politics? Like, what made you decide, like, because right now you are a state representative.
That is correct.
So I'm wondering, like, so what was your motivation? What made you decide, like, I'm going to politics? Because, you know, politics has a bad reputation out in these streets. Nobody's really, like, you know, nobody believes politicians. I think the closest thing we felt like we had something happening is when we had Obama, right? And I mean, we have Biden, he's doing the best he can.
Vice President Kamala Harris.
And we have Miss Harrison doing her thing, but I mean, like, it hasn't really felt much like we had people in politics that we could depend on. So I'm asking, what made you decide, like, I'm going to go in these murky waters and I'm going to make a change?
Well, in the word it says we must war against spiritual wickedness in high places. And part of that is I'm a filmmaker by trade.
Okay.
And so I own a film production company called SWAP Productions, LLC. And SWAP is an acronym for Sisters with a Purpose.
Okay.
So I named my company, I went to St. Elizabeth's all 12 years. I named my company after the nuns who helped educate me at St. Elizabeth's School.
Okay.
Yes, and ultimately I was working on films and doing films around social justice.
Okay.
And the first film was Justice for All, the documentary.
Okay.
And that was a 3-year comprehensive study of juvenile justice in America and overseas.
Okay.
So we traveled to over 50 different cities in the U.S., traveled abroad comparing and contrasting juvenile justice systems.
Okay.
And what we found is, what I went into it thinking was one way. As it turns out, yes, race does have a lot to do with it, but socioeconomics is the real issue. We're talking about the justice system.
Right.
Because the affluent Caucasian kid and the affluent black child will get the same treatment because their parents tend to hang around the individuals who make the decisions.
Okay.
However, the poor white kid and the poor Hispanic and the poor black child will all get treated the same because they don't have that kind of access.
Right.
And so it was an eye-opening experience.
That is an eye-opening experience. That is an eye-opening.
We screened it before the Congressional Black Caucus. They reached out, asked if we could screen it down in the Congressional Black Caucus. And shortly thereafter, the laws regarding juvenile justice had not changed since 1974. And in 2008, that's when the law started to change around juvenile justice after many viewed the film.
Wow. So after you start making a change before you was even in the Mercury waters. You already started making a change. So let's talk about your we could talk about your career as a politician, but I really want to talk about your initiative of becoming the first black lieutenant governor. Like, I don't want anyone to take that lightly, right? Recently, Harvard University just had its first black president, who is a woman. After 300 years of education, Harvard University just inducted their first black president who is a woman, right? So we still doing first.
Yeah.
Right?
In 2023.
In 2023, we still seeing.
But in 2024, we're going to do it first.
We're going to do another first. There's going to be another first. There's going to be another first. Yes, baby, we gonna celebrate her. Y'all might as well get ready. 113 going red, white, and blue. Lights out front, flames.
Yeah.
It's going down. If you want to invite, let me know because it's black cards on there. Yes, I'm like just because when I grew up in the 80s, 90s, we didn't see a lot of black women doing a lot of powerful things, right? We saw our
But there were black women doing powerful things.
Yeah, but
they
they didn't
just
show
didn't
us.
They didn't show us the black women doing powerful.
Right, they didn't show us. So I want to know from you if you are elected lieutenant governor, right?
So when hallelujah.
When?
There you gotta say it.
When
you win.
I stand
You have to name it and claim it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
when you are
There
elected
you go.
lieutenant governor, right? There are some disparities amongst our culture, specifically for women, and it is related to the mortality rate of babies. Black babies are dying. Black mothers are dying giving birth. There's a lot of disparities that are being faced in healthcare, especially in our lower underserved communities. When you become lieutenant governor, how will you address those issues?
Very good question. I'm actually working with several members of the House right now in conjunction with the Delaware Legislative Black Caucus and Councilwoman Shanae Darby in the city of Wilmington. That's an issue that she has been tackling, and I'm working with her. And she's kind of leading that charge. And black maternal health is important. And why is it important? Because a black woman should not have a baby and be concerned about not living to raise that child.
Exactly.
And so what is the issue? Why is it that when we go to the hospital that we're concerned about whether or not we're going to be able to come back home? So it brings me to, I did a film about breast cancer in Sussex County with the Susan G. Komen Foundation. And what we were finding is this level of disparity in health in general. Like, black women are diagnosed far less often than Caucasians,
Right.
but our mortality rate is higher. And then we're in October,
Right.
we talk about breast cancer awareness and talk about black maternal health. It's
Right.
all encompassing. And so we should never be in a situation where our lives are in jeopardy due to the fact that we love our families and we want to do what's right. And the fact that we're diagnosed later when it comes to breast cancer or we're misdiagnosed. I've had 14 surgeries and over 60 tumors removed from both breasts.
Wow.
And it started when I was 17. Some do, some don't know, but at the end of the day, still I rise. When my friends in high school, when their parents were looking for prom gowns, my mother and father were looking for oncologists for me.
Wow.
So I actually went to prom with a big bruise over my left breast because I had to wear, not had to, but I chose to wear my sister's prom gown, who went to prom 5 years prior to me, because it was like, I don't have time to shop, because I had to go back and forth to the doctor, have surgery, the whole nine by God's grace. The tumors have been benign, but due to the history of breast cancer in my family and due to the lack of what we have now, the technology, I always had to have the tumors removed.
Wow.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Well, you know what? Speaking of which, because here recently my daughter went through something similar, where she had found a lump. Okay, she called me up and she told me about it. Immediately, being a mother, I was highly concerned, right? So I just went into prayer. I prayed about it, and I kept telling the vet, don't really worry about it. I said, you're gonna be fine. Well, she went to the doctor, right? Well, she found one lump. When she went and had the mammogram, they found 2 lumps. And then she called me up and she said, Mom, I was like, what is it, baby? She said, they found 2 lumps. I was like, 2 lumps where?
Yeah.
Because it kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And so, I said, well, Beth, you know what? I said, we just gonna go in there. We're not gonna claim anything, okay? We're gonna just let God handle it. So after she had the mammogram and she got the results back, she called me up and she was just overjoyed. She said, Mom, yeah, I do have 2 lumps, but they are benign. They're not cancerous. And I was like, oh Lord, thank you, Jesus, because with her, even though I have 2 kids, I take that back. I have 8 kids. Okay.
Whoa.
Well, I'm counting my kids, grandkids, my great-grand.
Whoa!
So, but
Bro, you watching? Did you hear this? Hold on. No, we can't go any further.
you know,
We have to slow this boat down right now. She has 2 children. 1 girl
yeah.
and 1 boy.
Yeah, I have 2 biological children, but I have children that claim me. You know, I got
we're not talking
tiny-
about God kids, grandkids, claiming kids. No, she has 2.
Yeah, I have 2 children. I have
1 daughter.
I was blessed with 2 children.
She's not playing with
No. She already been that way. No, she doesn't.
Y'all see this? Bro, my brother's name is Marlon McKelvin, right? That is my only brother by my mother. All these other people, no ma'am. No, I'm the only girl. That's it. That's all.
Okay, yeah, she's my only girl, and you know,
That's
she's
it.
my
I share sporadically.
she's
It's
my
not
only
enough
girl,
for her.
and she would,
It's
if
not
anything should happen, she would have to be my primary caregiver, you know. So with that in mind, you know, my mind kind of started going all over the place. Lord, you know, don't let anything happen to her because, you know, I depend on her mostly for just about everything, you know.
I believe that.
Yeah, so, but, you know, with that being said, God is good.
All the time.
Okay. When we go in one direction, he tends to go in another direction. I always say God got a funny sense of humor.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's sense of humor.
Yes.
That's
I always
sense of
say
humor.
yes.
Let me tell you something. I had to call her mama. I didn't know what God was doing. I don't know why he decided to do what he did. But I was down to my very last couple pennies. Like they was like scraping each other. This is it.
I did it.
And so I was at Wawa. I don't know what I went to Wawa for. I go in the store. I don't even think I got what I was supposed to get out the store. The Spirit says, get a man outside, $10.
Wow. And you had 2 nickels to rub together.
Spirit said, the man that's standing outside in front of the Wawa, you give him $10. I had to go to the ATM machine. I don't even have $10. Let's just say I don't even have the $10. I'm just keeping it out. I'm just keeping it a buck. For all of y'all that think it's so much money going around in this shit, I didn't have $10, okay? So I go to the ATM machine at Wawa. I take $10 from the 30
That you had.
that I had.
So now you're down to 20.
And now I'm down to 20. I go outside. I tap the man on the shoulder. I say, the Spirit of God told me to give you these $10.
Like that. With
Just
that
like that. Just like that.
Straight like that.
Just like that. Because I still don't understand why you going to tell me, you know I only got 30. This car takes 70 to fill up. Like, what are we doing here?
And payday is when?
I'm not working.
Oh, the blood.
I didn't even have a job. Like, I'm waiting in between contracts. I'm like, I'm squeezing the green off of these dollars. And he says, give the man outside $10. So I go outside. I'm obedient, but I'm still not understanding what's this all about. I go outside. I said, the Spirit of God told me to give you these $10. He said, I'm not even asking for nothing. That's what he says back to me. I said, I know, but I have to do what the Spirit told me to do. It told me to give you these $10. So I'm going to give it to you. And I told him, I said, I don't even know why God is asking me to do this because he know I'm broke. Right? I said, he know I'm down to my last few pennies. He turned around, he says to me, but are you sure you want to give me the $10? He don't even want to take the $10. He's trying to give me the $10 back. Now, the message wasn't about the $10, it was about the obedience.
But
and
he's
that's
trying to tell you, the man told you that obedience is better than sacrifice.
better than sacrifice.
That's what the man was teaching you in that moment because you like, the Lord told me to give you this $10.
Give you these $10. I even called my mom. I said, Mom, you know, God really got a sense of humor. He really playing with me right now. She said, why do you say that? I said, I'm standing there. I didn't even make a purchase in Wawa. I said, I'm standing in Wawa. I forgot what even I was in the store for. And I said, the Spirit of God told me to get a man standing outside $10.
The Lord loves a cheerful giver.
And I gave it.
But
I said,
but it was that spirit. I saw it. I saw
I
that
said,
spirit.
woo! And that was the second time. The time before that, Remember I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone? I called her.
Oh yeah, she was crying.
And something just told me to call her. And I called her and she was like, started crying. And I said, what is the matter? And she says, we have no food. Before I even could think about it, I said, well, I got a pantry full of stuff out here in this garage. It's just kind of sitting there. I was collecting food for the church. I said, if you want it, you can have it. I said, as a matter of fact, I'm going to pack it all up.
I'll bring it to you.
And I'm going to bring it to you. Right? And I called Mom. I said, Mom, God know He funny. Because I don't even know why. I hadn't even spoken to her in months. And then just all of a sudden, He laid her on my heart. I called her. She told me what was going on. I gave it. And then some people was like, well, why would you do that? You don't even talk to her. Like, you could have gave it to a shelter. I said, no, because it had to be something God wanted me to do.
So we're similar. I'm sorry.
No.
We're similar because there was a fire in my district. And taking my shower, and I was getting ready to get in bed, and I heard the sirens. And I said, wow, that's close.
That's close.
And I said, my mother was like, you don't have to go now. Go get some rest and attend to it in the morning. And I said, no, it's too close. So I get in the car. I drive 3 blocks.
It's there.
It was right by, not too far from the house. And when I get there, I have constituents, and they were burnt out of their home. Okay?
Wow.
And so it was like 3 families. And I stood there and I said, Lord, show me how I can help them. Show me how I can use my power to be a blessing to my families. The very next day, I go to my legislative aide has a relationship with someone at the Salvation Army. Very next day. And one of my constituents, one of my neighbors, works at the Salvation Army.
Wow.
They get clothes together, they get food together, and we take it to the individuals. We found out where they were staying because they ended up staying with family. So now individuals who had maybe 4 or 5 people in their household now had 10 or 12. So when dropping off the food, you do what God calls you to do.
Right.
These families were so grateful. They were like, you just don't know we needed this. We needed these undergarments. We needed the clothes because we lost everything.
Right.
And one person said to me, yet we gained so much.
Wow. Even in the loss.
And I said, you gained so much? And they said, yes, because we're able to see you as our legislator, but not only as our legislator, but our neighbor.
Right.
I want to ask you, because I hear you say you're a constituent, so is it a requirement that you live in the district that you represent?
Yes.
Is that a requirement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because I wasn't, I
Yes.
didn't understand.
So there are
how they work.
41 state representatives, 21 senators.
Okay.
So 62 legislators in the General Assembly right now.
Okay.
Yes, and they will always vote.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Once you win and you be lieutenant governor, what is your vision?
Oh, that's an excellent question.
Yeah.
So the lieutenant governor has 2 roles: to preside over the Senate and to chair the board of pardons.
Okay.
And I always like to say that I'm uniquely qualified for this position because I previously served on the Wilmington City Council. I served on the Board of Parole.
Okay.
I'm in my 3rd term as a state representative,
Okay.
which means I'm approaching my 6th year. And as I stated, the Lieutenant Governor presides over the Senate and chairs the Board of Pardons.
Okay.
So
The board of pardons,
the Board
that's
of
big.
Pardons, and having served on the Board of Parole, we made recommendations to the Board of Pardons.
Okay.
So now I chair that actual entity that can give people a second chance.
Give them a second
Okay.
chance. I want to ask you about that.
And we serve a God of second chances.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
many
yes,
chances.
yes.
A many chances. Because I hit my second about 4, 5, 6 times. I know I done hit my second.
You about 10?
Yeah, I'm in. But Lord, I got it this time. I'm good now, but it took me.
this time.
Yeah. It took me a minute. I had a praying mama.
You said the prayer mama. But listen, the blessing is we all know that our steps are already orchestrated by Him. So what you saw as your slip up was intentional for you to grow up.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yes.
I definitely will take that. And also in that growing up, in that growing season, in that transformative season, in that journey, where God started to show me so many things, but the biggest thing that he showed me was his timing.
My God.
It was his timing. All the things that I went through, all the things that I incurred, all the good and bad decisions that I made, it was all about God's perfect timing.
That's right.
So when he was ready, because God got a way of saying, okay, all right, he tapped me. You're out. No more. Okay? It's time for you to come on in now. You've done enough. And when he did that, he had me prepared. My family was prepared. My ground was prepared. Everything around me was prepared for me to say, I had the strength now. Something I was afraid of before. I was afraid to say, oh no, I can't go, I have to go, because if I say no, they're going to think I'm not cool, or they're going to think I'm not showing up, or they're going to feel some type of way about me. They're going to think I'm a liar because I said I was coming and then I'm not. But God had a way of getting me completely still and said, this is my time now. And when I was able to get back with my family because I was secluded from COVID, I had went 2 years being a COVID observation nurse, never contracted COVID. My husband had COVID. My daughter had COVID. All my patients was dying from COVID. And God kept me covered in that season, right? But then it was time. He knew I wasn't going to slow down. I was just going to keep going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. And I remember being tested, and it was like, you have COVID. And my response was, this is cocky. This is when you know you think you in control. I don't have COVID. That's what I said. I said, no, take it again.
You weren't alone in that one.
Yeah, do it. Listen, swab it again. Do it one more time. And then the second test was negative. I said, I told you. So they said, we're going to do it again. Third test was negative. I said, I told y'all I don't have COVID. They said, well, you had one positive test, so you have to go home. So they're going to do me a PCR. They called me the next day. You definitely got COVID. By the time I can get to the phone, I'm like, hello? Yeah, because COVID done set in now, right? But in that season, it was so crazy because typically my mom could give me soup or fix me a hot toddy, or my husband, or rub my back, or give me some Tylenol, or I was completely secluded. It was no going anywhere. In that room were times.
You and God.
Me and God. It was times where I was crawling. God knew how to get me on the floor. You need to be on your knees. You still ain't. You still not listening. So now I'm crawling to the bathroom. Now I hear myself, God, please help me. Please help me. But that was the most sincere cry, because at that point I realized that it's not going to be on your strength that you get out of this room. It's only going to be by God's strength that you get out of this room. You're not getting out unless God says so. And he let me, until I say so, you're going to be right here. You're not going to work. You're not coming out this room. You're not fellowshipping with your family until I say so. When I tell you that was the most humbling experience of my entire life. It changed my life. When I tell you, I look back and I can't go back, I'm only looking to see how far I came from. That's the only reason I take a peek over my shoulder. Because at the end of the day, when we decide that we are no longer going to try to do it, and we're going to trust God's perfect timing to do it, everything is going to align up. And I say that to say this to you. It's your time.
I receive it.
I receive it. It's your time. You put the time in. You've done the work. You've been diligent. You've been faithful. You've stood on God's promises and his word. When I met you, you did not have to say, oh, I'll sit down here. You said, come here. Grab me by my hand. Then said, come on, get this picture. I said, I look a mess. You're like, no, you don't get in this picture. It just honored me and loved me. And I have to tell you that it was one of the most amazing feelings. Because for me, being an only girl, right, and my mother was just very protective, I kind of shy away socially, right? I would not really, I was like, Mom, I don't know how to really meet people and make friends and talk to folks. My mother's my mouthpiece. She talk to anybody. She's a social butterfly. But you embraced me. You embraced me. And I said, I have a podcast, and before I can get the rest of it out, she said, we coming. We coming to the podcast. And she says, you cook? I said, I love to cook. She said, all right now. And when I promise something, I hold true to that. So tonight, when this podcast is over, we busting a mean grub. Okay? When I tell you we gotta grub, we gotta spread. We got some good old New Orleans red beans and rice with some baby, some applesauce, cornbread, some collard greens, fried chicken, hot wings. It's going down in here.
My stomach getting hungry already. I'm supposed to be trying to lose weight. I don't think I'm gonna lose none tonight.
Eva asked me a question. She
Uh-huh.
said, what would I like to do differently?
Yeah, what would you like to do differently once you become lieutenant governor? I hear you talk about injustice with children, particularly underprivileged children. Doesn't matter whether they're black, blue, green, or yellow. Underprivileged is underprivileged. So how would you continue to address that issue?
Very good question. When your daughter was talking about God's perfect timing, I ran for lieutenant governor in 2016.
Okay.
I did. And
Did you?
There was 6 of us in the race. I came up just a little short. And as your daughter was speaking, and she was talking about embracing and how she felt love.
Okay.
That's exactly what I want each constituent to feel, whether they vote for me or not. That they feel like the lieutenant governor is working for them. And I'm honored to work for them. And that they feel like they have a home, regardless of if they're Christian, if they're Jew, if they're Gentile, Pentecostal,
Okay.
if you're Muslim, you're Buddhist, whatever. You feel welcomed. Whether you're black, you're white, or you're Hispanic. It doesn't matter. What matters is that my heart desires to be pleasing to God.
Y'all have to support her.
You know, the one thing that I love about you, and I really don't know you, is that you are approachable.
Yes,
Okay, when I was at the unit today, you are very approachable. Okay, and the other thing is that you're transparent. All right, in your vision, the reason why you're running, what you plan on doing once you are in office, because I look at positivity. I'm a positive person. I always name and claim whatever is up in front of me. So I'm going to claim that for you. You understand? But sometimes once a person get into office, you know, they kind of change. But I don't think that's going to happen for you. It would be a blessing for the state of Delaware to have someone like you that's in everybody's corner. You know, it's almost sound like you're gonna have an open door policy there, whereas you'll be, you know, if you have a problem, if I can help you.
That's right.
You see, that's what we need. We need somebody that we can go to, have an idea, even if you can't help. I'm sure that in your candidacy, you would be able to point them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So my next question will be, how would you, you know, the people that are going to be surrounding you, okay, would you be also trying to change, you know, because some people got a crazy sense of mind of how things are supposed to be, you know what I mean? And I know that would probably be difficult in the beginning for you to try to change other people's mind in unfair justice. So how would you approach the unfair justice in getting people to change their thought process about that?
So you're talking about legislating the heart.
Yeah.
So I can't legislate the heart, but I can pray for the heart.
Okay.
And it's something when you have a praying saint, a believer in a situation, in a room. So for instance, I previously served on Wilmington City Council.
Okay.
And I stayed the same when it comes to my faith. I now am a state representative. And it was shared with me that there are those who may not want to make an investment in your campaign due to your faith. And I stated that without faith it's impossible to please God. And my greatest mission in life is to be pleasing to our Heavenly Father. And so there will be those, or there are, and I asked also, would you rather have a heathen in the seat? Like, is that what we're seeking? So
call these people.
Like,
I couldn't hold a straight face on that one.
is that what you're seeking? Because when you want someone who seeks to be pleasing to our Heavenly Father.
Right.
And regardless of what you call him, I'm not going to get into that argument. I call him Jesus.
Right.
But you may call him Buddha, you may call him Allah, but I call him Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want someone who understands that they're standing on a solid rock, when you want someone who has love for each and every individual, and I'm not interested in the silly season of politics.
Okay.
Talking about each other, being, I was about to say backstabbing.
The dirty politics.
Absolutely, I'm not interested in that,
The
and I
dirty
don't
campaigning.
participate in that. You won't see me do anything negative regarding any other candidate because that's not what I do.
Right.
You'll see when you see me with someone who's running against me, you'll see me hug them. You'll see me embrace them. You'll see me be kind to them because if you can see, you need to be able to see the light within me in order to be able to find that light within yourself.
Okay.
So that's where I am with this. I cannot legislate the heart, but the things that I can legislate, putting body-worn cameras on each and every police officer, House Bill 195, that was my bill. So every single officer in the state of Delaware now has a body camera.
Okay.
So that's transparency for the constituency as well as the police.
Right.
I have a question. Is when we start talking about justice, judicial system, healthcare, as we are well aware, especially in the cities of Wilmington and Dover, you see prominent. We have a opioid crisis.
We have an opioid crisis up and down the state.
Yes, and
It's
so
in Bridgeville, Selbyville too.
So I mean, we see it, I guess, more like outwardly in appearance in heavily populated city areas, right? But obviously, addiction doesn't have a color. It doesn't have you could be in the bracket of disparity, underserved, or you can be a millionaire.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. But from a healthcare standpoint, being an actively working nurse, right? We see so many young people coming into long-term care facilities, rehabilitation centers, emergency rooms. We see them ODing on the street. It often seems like we're helpless as healthcare workers. We often feel as if nothing is being done. COVID highlighted the disparities, the shortages that not just nurses but healthcare people in general working in healthcare, from the janitor to the person that's working in the kitchen, to the doctor, to the nurse practitioner, to the director of nursing, to the administrator. There's been so many challenges. COVID highlighted those. Now that it seems like COVID is kind of subsiding, or they're making people think it is, the help is still not coming. As Lieutenant Governor of this state, how can you help us? How can you help us help them? What do you think could be done?
There's a whole lot that's being done right now. In my district, Brandywine Counseling is located in my actual district. And thank goodness for our federal delegation who gave Dr. Sandra Gibney $750,000 for her mobile van, which goes up and down the state, helping those who are struggling with opioids. And just being able to continue that work with her and any other entity that is reaching out to the people. But it's interesting, when the money was given, Dr. Gibney said, I have to say that when we're out in the streets and we're helping people, Representative Sherry Dorsey Walker is out there with us too.
Great.
So the thing is, people need to see you out there in your community and caring about individuals. I can sit in my office and say I care, and people can write checks and do whatever needs to be done. But I'm boots on the ground. And so when there is a need, if I'm able to assess it, I shall. So going to the individuals. We have a situation in my district, as I represent the 3rd district, which 95 runs right through the district, and there's some history behind that, and we'll talk about that on another day. But there was a community of people who were underneath the overpass, and they were living there.
Tent City.
They were. And we had Wilmington Police Department there. We had Department of Health and Human Services. We had all different entities there
Mm-hmm.
to help.
Mm-hmm.
And two of the individuals who are addicted, I went over to them and I talked to them and I said, "Are you hungry?" And they said, "A little bit." They said, "Okay, we'll feed you." They said, "You know what? Today's the day." And I said, "What?" "Today's the day I'm going to get help." And I said, "Do you need a ride to the facility?" They said, "No, we're going to walk." But today's the day. I said, why today? Just tell me why. Because the police, the state, the county, the city, everyone came around us and treated us with a sense of humanity.
That's so important. Humanity is the treatment of people, and often we hear that. We had a beautiful spirit here, Miss Wawa, and she is a community activist, philanthropist, humanitarian in the state of New Jersey. And she shared with us a time during when COVID was active, where she went to the state superintendent and asked them, could she house homeless, those without homes, in a vacant school, to provide them with healthcare services, food, clothing, things of that nature. But one of the things that she highlighted, that was like, wow, that was mind-blowing to me, is that resources. They often experience inhumane treatment from individuals that look like us when they're going to get a driver's license or trying to get a state ID or looking for, line things up to get maybe some affordable housing or to get into a rehab, to get Medicaid, to get Medicare. We find that a lot of our people that are living on the street are not being treated humanely to get that help. Go to that methadone clinic or to get into a center like, what does they call that for the, when they want a rehab center, right? Oftentimes what we seeing now is they're in nursing homes.
Well, see, because there's a stigma around opioid addiction.
Okay.
And what we have to do is, when someone has kidney disease or someone has cancer, or someone has Alzheimer's, we make sure they get the treatment that they need. And so when someone is struggling and suffering with drug abuse, instead of pointing fingers and talking about the individual, why not figure out how we can help them? Now, there are those who, when they're
just
not ready
don't want
to
the
be
help. They just don't want the help, right?
But the ones who want to be helped, why
Right.
can't we help them?
Right.
Just last week in my district, what I do is I have a relationship with restaurants in my district,
Okay.
such that when they take my business card, they can take my business card and they can run a tab, and I'll go pay the tab. The restaurant will call me and say, the bill is X, and I'll go pay it. Because I'll never see them hungry, but I won't feed that demon that's living in them.
Right.
But I'll feed the physical man or woman.
Amen.
But I just can't, and I won't. And they know. When they're really hungry, I'll say, "Are you hungry?" And they'll say yes. I'll say, "Okay." Some of them aren't going to go to the restaurant or wherever. I say, "I'll go pick it up for you."
Designated area.
And I'll bring it back to them. And they'll wait. And I'll bring it back to them. And some of them have, because their addiction is now keeping them from going into that establishment.
That's true.
Because the people who own it are like, they can't come in.
You can't come in here.
Right.
But
Addiction and mental illness are sometimes.
that's a whole nother hat. That's
Sometimes-
another hat.
So is the person on drugs because they're trying to self-medicate?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have done some legislation around mental health. There's more work that needs to be done.
Absolutely.
And I'm willing to help with that.
Okay.
We've done some amazing work in the General Assembly.
Okay.
But there's more work that needs to be done.
Absolutely. I think that even just having the passion and the desire and the want to is more than what we typically see. I'm not trying to point fingers or throw dirt, but when you have seen your own families, friends, colleagues struggle in areas, as you mentioned, mental health, opioid dependency, homelessness, resources that's limited, to have someone to say, I'm willing to go out there and do what needs to be done to make a difference, I think That is what we need in a lieutenant governor.
Amen. Can I just share this with you guys?
Yes.
About just who this amazing individual is.
Okay.
You know, she's a servant to the community. Let's be clear about that. She's always been a servant to the needs of the community. What a lot of people don't know right now, and I just have to share it. I can't keep this in anymore.
Don't hold
So those of you that live in the Smyrna Clayton area and you have children in the Smyrna school district, you all know about the deficit of $16,500 that was in a deficit of for the food service for the children.
Right.
So the children, until this debt was paid, if they owe this money, they can't participate in the homecoming service
Right.
this week. So it was brought up in Bird's AME Church with Pastor Jordan, and it was brought up by one of the members of the church, Bernard Williams Jr., and he addressed it with the church, and so the church is all ready to. You say, what can we do? What can we do? And so I said, well, you know what? Let me bring this to the attention of Representative Sherry Dorsey Walker, because her babies are her babies. And that means that children are her babies, and children and seniors have always been the left and the right of her heart, right?
Okay.
So when I brought this to her attention, she immediately, everyone, I want you to hear this. Representative Sherry Dorsey Walker, she's not the lieutenant governor right now, is walking in her role as a lieutenant governor to remedy any solutions within her power. So what she did was she picked up the telephone and she had a conversation with other leaders in the community. Councilwoman Upshart, who's the councilwoman for the town of Smyrna. She also reached out to Representative Bill Bush, that also have constituents whose children go to the school. And she also reached out to the Newcastle County Executive, Matt Myers, just having conversations about these issues, right? And Representative Bill Carson as well, to we need to come together to address this issue and this deficit. But she reached out not only to them, but to the president of the school board,
Okay.
Wow.
the board of directors, and the superintendent. Now, you heard her say, everyone, her district is the 3rd district in the city of Wilmington, so she did not have to take on this problem
That was going on in
to
Smyrna.
try to
Already
resolve
showing leadership.
that is going on in Smyrna.
Right.
That's affecting Smyrna Clayton students
Wow.
in the community. She did not have to take this on. She did not have to pick up the phone call. She said, oh my God, those are babies. I don't want any of them to feel bullied as a result of the status quo from the financial abilities of their household.
Wow.
They should not be affected by what are decisions or lack of needs of the parent. These babies should not be bullied. They should not be closed out because it's not their problem that a child can resolve.
Well, we shouldn't be poverty shaming children. Like, if something's happening in a child's household, how is that the responsibility of the child? And why is the child held culpable for adult decisions?
Right.
That should never happen. And so every child in this state is my baby. Every child, regardless of race, color, creed. If you're a young person, you're my baby. If you're a senior, you're my heart. And that's just how I operate. All the ones in the middle, I love you too. But the ones who need the most assistance, the most vulnerable of our populations, will always have my heart.
Y'all heard it right here. Right here. You seen her on the She Shack. Don't forget that she was on the She Shack. I want y'all to make sure you pin this date, because we're going to come back in 2024 when she is Lieutenant Governor, because who else would you want to lead than someone who loves children, who adores them, take them on as their own, somebody that respects and honors older adults and take them and put them in their heart. You are an amazing woman. You are a beautiful human being. I said it behind your back, but I'm saying it to your face. You are an amazing, wonderful human being who I am honored to support.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, I joined the campaign. I joined the campaign, so I'm going to be helping her. She has no idea who she has on her squad. A loyal, faithful servant, I'm telling you.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much for coming to the She Shack. Thank you
for
so much for coming and just spreading the love. Thank you, because baby, you made it happen.
Oh, come on
You're a
now.
person of your word. You said I'm gonna make it happen, and you did, and I thank you. I thank y'all for trusting this platform. I thank you for supporting us and allowing us to support you back. And you can always come to the She Shack. I don't care what you have going on. We can put some signs up on the wall, whatever you want, to show support to you and to your initiative to be Lieutenant Governor. We are going to celebrate you.
Amen.
And also, guys, you know, I never ever want to leave you without talking about Victoria's Boutique. Okay? So, you know, I have a nonprofit organization. You hear me talk about it every week. It's called the V Love Foundation. The V Love Foundation was invited to Trenton, New Jersey on Saturday. And guess what? We were invited to come back and to bring Victoria's Boutique with us so that we can help the underserved community. Remember that Victoria's Boutique is a complimentary shopping experience. Every single solitary thing that you see in the store is free. For example, my outfit is from Victoria's Boutique.
Nice.
Outfits like this will help you get in your job interview, your business meeting, go open up your bank account, or just look cute for the day, whatever you want. You'll find these kinds of outfits, but you also find things for your husband, your boyfriend, your son, your daughter, and your newborn baby. If you think of any community that could benefit from the V Loves Foundation initiative through the Victoria's Boutique, you can reach me at yatrench@theVLoveFoundation.com, where you can send me out an email and you can say, hey, Yvette, we could really use you in this community. We're going to pack it up. We're going to pack it up, put some heaters if we have to, and we're going to bring it to you, okay? So thank you so much for supporting our initiative. We live now, guys. I don't know if y'all saw the post or not, but we are now live. The V Love Foundation have a website. We also have a phone number. We also have a home now. So thank y'all so much for continuing to support us. We love you so much. We thank you, Sherry Dorsey Walker. Y'all, make sure you remember this face. Look at the camera. Make sure y'all get this face. Make sure you see her. You see her, right? Mm-hmm. This is our next Lieutenant Governor. She going to be the first black Lieutenant Governor here in the state of Delaware. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting.
And www.sherrydorseyWalker.com. All listeners, please go onto the website, sign up, volunteer, donate. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for participating. And don't forget to vote. If you're not registered to vote, do so today. Go out and register to vote so you can support Sherry Dorsey Walker initiative to be the next Lieutenant Governor, right? We're going to celebrate y'all. Red, white, and blue everywhere. It's going to be all over the place. Have a good night, everybody. We love y'all. Bye.